Hello there, and welcome to another edition of the North Dakota Softball All-Stars podcast. I am your studio host, Tim Howe. Have a fun guest planned for you today. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But hey, as the weather starts to turn, we're going to transition here from the fall sports into the winter sports. I mean, it's really not that far away. This is when we're really in full-fledged planning mode for the next Softball All-Star Series. We're so excited to be doing that again. We have a lot in the works, a lot of it planned and ready to go to recognize the top seniors throughout the state of North Dakota and give them another chance to play softball. So I'm telling you that to tell you this. There will be some information coming soon as to when the games will be played and where the games will be played in June of 2019. In the meantime, we'll continue with these monthly podcasts, bringing in guests from throughout the state of North Dakota. Yes, we're a little bit late. We should have had a podcast in September. Some technical difficulties on the scheduled production and recording day as we had to move things back a little bit into early October. But, you know, just like the spring weather, which is totally unpredictable and makes us have to be agile and move games around and adjust schedules, we'll do the same here. So we are going to talk to junior outfielder from Minot. Yes, the defending state champs, Landry Maragos, in just a minute here. So excited to have Landry on the program. Well, for a couple of reasons. She's a state champion, and she also made the play of the year according to the ND Sports Channel and basically, you know, according to anybody who saw the play, because it was incredible. We'll make sure that she walks us through that play. But first, let's listen to that play as called by Mike Mason on the ND Sports Channel in the state semifinals between Minot and Bismarck Century.
Here's the pitch. That one's hit up high to deep center field, and that one is... Wow, what a catch by Landry Maragos. She jumps up and robs Maddie Zander of a straightaway center field home run. Maragos was going back all the way to the fence, and at the last second, she just made a leap up there and robbed the home run. What a fantastic defensive play by Maragos out in center field.
And what a play it was, the top play of the softball season in games called by the ND Sports Channel, and they called quite a few. That right there was a good one. Now, I'm looking forward to hearing herself, yes, Landry Maragos, talk us through that play, what she saw, what she thought, and how she felt after making the catch. Let's do that. Without further ado, excited to bring onto the program junior outfielder from Minot and a defending state champion, Landry Maragos. Landry, thanks for taking some time to join the North Dakota Softball All-Stars podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so as you know, the ND Sports Channel did a countdown of the top plays of the year. They selected one of your plays as the top play, and we'll get to that in just a second. But I really want to start with leading up to the state tournament. So you knew, 4 or 5 days before that when you came over to Fargo, you were going to get to play Valley City in the first game. And Valley City went crazy in the EDC tournament. I mean, they scored 10-plus in every game. If they gave up a run, it was only 1 or 2. I mean, they had such a great run through the EDC. What were kind of your expectations for that first game, knowing you were playing Valley City?
Our expectations, or at least like my expectations, were for myself just to play hard and have my best defense as possible and be exactly where I needed to be. And our team expectations, when we go into every game, we don't have a mindset that we are going to win. We always have that, that thought that, yes, like we're going to win even though all the odds are against us. But we go in and we take it every at-bat at a time, every play by a time, every inning at a time. And we just work hard every inning, and we just build up as we go throughout our game.
Yeah, and that was a great game. Ended up being a 4-3 win with Minot moving on. And then it kind of became, with the exception of one team, a mini WDA tournament. You got an opportunity. Well, let's back up for a second. First of all, we had weather. Right, we didn't get started early in the season like we normally did. So really, once we started playing in like the end of April or early May, the teams out west played the teams out west, and the teams out east played the teams out east. So you were pretty familiar with your opponents. and you get Century in that semifinal game. How had the previous games gone against Century, and what were you guys kind of prepared for that one?
Our previous games before Century didn't really roll our way as we had hoped to. We had 2 losses previously against that team. And I think that really pushed us as a team going into that third game to put us into the championship. It's like that grudge match, and everyone in our team came together. Everyone had amazing plays that game, and that was our defense as a team was just phenomenal.
Yeah, and your team built a big lead, and then Century started to get some runners on base, hit a long ball. All of a sudden, we've got a much tighter score, and you make the play that we talked about previously. And for those who maybe have never been out to Mickelson Park, which is a really cool venue in Fargo, these aren't, like a 4-foot outfield fence. I'm kind of using my height to guess here, but they're probably an 8-foot, maybe a 7-foot outfield fence. And maybe I'll let you try to describe it too, but you basically go up and over, take a home run away, help preserve a lead, and your team goes on to win. Can you take us through that play?
Yes, I can. So Maddie Zander had hit the ball, and I had saw it, and I knew it was coming right for me, and I could tell that this was probably going to be a home run because she is a power hitter, so I had already backed up to the fence. And so I was standing at the edge of the fence, and I kind of used my hand to grab the fence, and I just jumped as high as I could, and I just extended as far as I could because I knew that I needed to catch the ball. And at first, it didn't register to me that I had really caught the ball until I turned around and I saw Jaylee Britt, which was in left field, and Haley Espy, who was in right field. They just came charging at me. And I didn't register that I had caught the ball until I saw them running over to me.
We're talking to Landry Maragos from Minot. She made the play of the year in the state tournament. And what's super cool, once we're done chatting here, we'll play it again for all the listeners. Mike's call is great. He's so excited. He stumbles over your name, and we've all been there. But the crowd reaction, it was, I'm sure, half Minot fans kind of freaking out that you caught it, and half everybody else kind of going, what just happened? I mean, it was such a great play.
Thank you.
So that, as we said, that helps get your team into the state championship. And if you haven't heard it before, you've been sleeping under a rock. But before this state championship game, West Fargo had won all of them, literally all of the state championship games. And so we're going to get 2 things. We're going to get a non-West Fargo champion, but we're going to get our first champion from the West because you get Dickinson in the championship game. And as we mentioned before, this is a team you played a couple times during the regular season. Talk about how those games went and how that set up the state championship game.
So our very first game, we had played them, and we were inside the MSU dome, like the bubble, set up on the football field. And at our first couple games, one of them went our way, the other one didn't. But I think we had ended up taking both losses against Dickinson while we were in the bubble, which was still pretty early in the season, so none of us had really taken it too much to heart or had taken that under consideration. And then the second time we played Dickinson, we had a few of our players, like our pitcher, Marissa Andrusiak. She was out sick, and we had a few of our other key players that were gone too. And so that game, Dickinson got a solid win there. So I think it went in our favor going into the state tournament playing against Dickinson. Because Dickinson tended to overlook us, and their attitude has been pretty, this will be an easy game. We're gonna get this. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Dickinson. Dickinson has an amazing team, but I just think they haven't seen us and how we played, and we brought what we had to the plate, and everyone worked hard, and everyone came together as a team.
Yeah, and you sure did. It was a great state championship game with Minot winning 4-2 over Dickinson. And then obviously, as anybody could imagine, you win a state championship. There's a lot of people who want to congratulate you. You're all excited. But you guys got a tweet recognizing you from Josh Dumel. I mean, how cool was that?
That was pretty awesome. I remember a lot of us that were riding back on the bus when we saw the tweet from Josh Duhamel. We just thought it was the best thing, and it just made it that much better.
And so you win the state championship, came all the way out to Fargo to do it, the first team not named West Fargo to win it all, and you did that as just a sophomore. So you come back for your junior year. I know it's a little bit hard to think about softball because we're getting pretty close to winter here and snow time, and the temperature's been a lot colder, but what is the outlook for 2019? What can Minot do to build off of the success from last year?
Going into this season, I feel like we will be working harder, and because we are losing a few of our key players, so there are some big shoes that need to be filled, but we have upcoming sophomores of this year and some upcoming juniors that are really working hard this winter and putting in the time to fill in those shoes. So if we keep coming together as a team like I know we can, and we keep building off of each other and these shoes are being filled, I think we have a pretty good chance at making it to the state tournament again this year and hopefully making it pretty far then too.
We're talking to Minot junior Landry Maragos, not just a standout softball player, but you play basketball too, and the basketball season, of course, officially is right around the corner now. What position do you play, and what's the outlook for the Minot basketball team?
I play shooting guard, and the outlook, we lost a few of our big players last year, but we have some tall girls coming back, and we have a lot of talent this year. And every year that we keep playing, the chemistry gets better and better between the teammates. So I think that this year our outcome, we're pushing, we're hoping to get into that state tournament this year.
Yeah, and best of luck to you during the season again. It's hard to believe, but it's almost basketball season, which puts us that much closer to another softball season in the spring. So, hey, Landry, I want to talk to you about a couple of your, I guess now, former teammates that have played in the Shields Softball All-Star Series. So if you bounce back to 2017, which if I can do math a little bit, I think that would have been your freshman year, you had Emily Mellum and Riley Ehrman that got to play in the Shields Softball All-Star Series right after the state tournament. And then last year, you already alluded to the job she did, especially in the state tournament, but pitcher Marissa Andresiak. So you've had 3 teammates that have got to play in an all-star game at the end of their career. Just talk a little bit about those kids and what they've meant to the Minot program.
So starting with Riley and Emily, I had only played a few games with them. I mostly played JV my freshman year, and then Riley Ehrman took me under her wing, and she showed me everything she knew about outfield, and I really looked up to Riley. She had an amazing outlook. She had an amazing attitude. She was a very good outfielder. And also, Emily Mellum also took me under her wing, which I think is awesome that these 2 girls made the All-Star game, and I get to talk about them. Because Emily Mellum, she taught me how to slap left-handed because they had switched me, and she taught me how to slap left-handed, bunt, hit. She taught me key assets about running, and she also had a fantastic outlook and just positive attitude, and both of them are great leaders for the team, and they're very positive on the Minot High softball program. And with Marissa Andresiak, she's a character. She's very funny and she's positive. She is a very good team leader as well.
Awesome. That's great insight. Keep going. I want to know more about Marissa. She was so much fun in the All-Star game.
She just has that bubbly personality, and when you see her out on the field, she is just always happy to be there. There's not a time. Well, there are times she doesn't have a smile on her face when she's focusing on pitching, but even then, she'll always turn around to me in the outfield, and we have certain facial expressions we exchange. I mean, certain things. Me and Marissa have gotten pretty close over this past softball season, and she has a way of bringing the team together, and she has great leadership skills and just a positive outlook.
Awesome. So we're talking to Landry Maragos from Minot. And Landry, before we let you go, we like to do this on occasion where we just run through a whole bunch of your favorite things. So I got a list of, I don't know, about a dozen things. And just first thing off the top of your head, you give me an answer and we'll see where it goes. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
All right. What is your favorite food?
Grilled cheese.
Good answer. Like it. How about your favorite class in school?
Math.
Favorite movie?
The Sandlot.
Oh, perfect. Love it. How about your favorite type of music?
Country.
Country. Do you have a favorite artist?
Ooh, I honestly cannot say I do.
Yeah, it's never a fair question. How about your favorite color?
Red.
Red. Awesome. Favorite cereal?
Fruit Loops.
Fruit Loops. Perfect. So your favorite season of the year, fall, winter, spring, summer?
Winter.
Favorite place to play softball? You can't count Minot. So anywhere outside of Minot.
Oh, a new turf field up at Legacy.
Good answer. Yeah, that place is awesome. How about your favorite animal?
Ooh, tiger.
Favorite sport to watch?
Football.
And what would be your favorite sport to play since you play basketball? Don't count basketball or softball. If you could play a different sport, what would it be?
Volleyball.
Awesome. Landry Maragos from Minot, thank you so much for chatting. This has been awesome. Wish you a good basketball season, and we'll see how things go. Maybe we'll touch base in the spring again.
All right, thank you for having me and giving me that awesome play of the year.
She is Landry Maragos. She'll be a junior at Minot this year, or she is a junior. Going to get ready for a basketball season here and then back in the spring as Minot attempts to defend its state softball championship. Speaking of state champions and state tournaments, a look here at the NDHSAA approved state tournament sites for the next couple of years. So in the 2018-2019 season, so the 2019 spring, the Class B state tournament will be in Fargo, presume at Mickelson Park, and the Class A state tournament is going to be in Minot. So Minot a chance potentially to defend their state title in their hometown. Look ahead to the 2020 state tournament. The B goes back to Jamestown, and A is in Mandan. And then in 2021, Fargo is the site once again for Class B, and Jamestown is the location for Class A. There's also some potential developments in Class B. I know we talked a lot about it before the most recent spring season, that instead of two regions like A has and B has had, they kept the region format but brought in subregions. Part of that was the growth, the definite growth. Class B is growing. There are more teams every year, and there are more teams looking to come aboard every year. That also meant that the game is not quite as developed as A because, well, there's some newer teams. And then you got some movement, right? So Bishop Ryan went from A to B last year. Watford City is going from B to A this year. What is likely going to happen, from the sounds of things, is that they'll play one more season of Class B softball, sort of in the current format with the sub-regions. And then reading between the lines a little bit here, but it sounds like the plan might be for 2020 to go to 4 separate regions, based a lot off the sub-regions, I would imagine, but 2 teams from each region advance to the state tournament. And then you have your 8 teams, as it has been, but instead of 4 from the east, 4 from the west in a traditional 2-region format, you'd have 2 from, hypothetically, of course, the northeast, 2 from the southeast, northwest, and northeast. Whatever, the 4 cardinal directions. I might have misspoke on those, but you get the picture there. So that's something to keep an eye on. We'll see what kind of teams might jump on board for the 2019 season. As I mentioned, Class B has been growing, and it's exciting to see more teams come on board. A lot of things will happen between now and then. It's only October. The spring season will start in March. Hopefully we get a little bit more favorable weather, and we can start playing games in early April and roll through a state tournament in early June. Again, the North Dakota Softball All-Stars are excited to bring year 3 of the Shields Softball All-Star Series. The details on that, we will get them to you as soon as they start to be finalized, and we can give them to you piece by piece as those pieces get finalized. So more on that on a future podcast. You can find more on that at ndsoftballallstars.com or find us on Facebook and Twitter. Just look for NDSB All-Stars. Once again, a huge thank you to Landry Maragos, a junior outfielder for Minot, getting ready for a basketball season. Took some time out to talk to us about the state tournament mainly, but the previous softball season and what's ahead for Minot in 2019. My name is Tim Howe. I am the studio host of the North Dakota Softball All-Stars podcast. Pleased that you joined us for another edition. We'll be back with another one later this month because, this is the September edition in October. So signing off for now. Hey, softball fans, enjoy it. And pretty soon it's going to be snow. So enjoy this fall weather, and we'll talk to you again later this month.